Hello, let's start and practice our yoga. We're going to begin by laying down flat on our backs into Savasana, corpse posture or pose of serenity. So to get into that position, if you bend your knees, have your feet hip width apart and round the back by tilting the pelvis, rolling the shoulders forward and connecting each vertebra of the spine with the mat as you lower. And then allow those legs to extend without disturbing the spine. Bring your back of head to connect with the mat. Draw your chin down towards your chest. Roll your arms out and away from the sides of your body. And then really let go. Allow your shoulders to drop back into the mat. Let your toes roll away from each other. And connect with the flow of breath. With the rise and fall of your chest. In synchronization with the rise and fall of your belly button. And allow the heavy weight of your being to surrender upon every breath that leaves your body. Given this time at the beginning of your practice to soften, loosen, release. Your practice will progress much smoother and with greater ease if you are relaxed. If you're very tense, this will make you rigid. So it's all about letting go in those moments leading up to the movements you're going to make. So let's unclench the teeth, soften the skin on our face. Let's bring the heels of the feet together. A nice deep breath in as we bend those knees, draw them in towards our chest. And bring your hands just behind your hamstrings. And we're going to rock ourselves up to an upright seated position. So to do this, you'll breathe in and just draw those toes over your head. And then exhale, using the weight of the head to bring yourself forward and up. Don't judge yourself if it doesn't happen immediately. But just bear in mind that the heaviest part of your body is your head, and you can utilise it to get you forward by activating that motion, by taking your head forward. So you'll notice that you really think of drawing the head forward to help you up. So we're going to bring ourselves round and over into a prone position. We are going to work through to gain knowledge of the Backbend. So we're going to practice Cobra, Locust, and then Backbend, a couple of variations of that movement. So because of the practice we're having today, we're actually going to be detoxifying ourselves, because we're going to be giving the kidneys a good squeezing, a good massage, so they'll be ejecting a lot of toxins. You may find that during the rest of the day you pee a little bit more than normal, which is totally fine because it is the body ejecting the toxins. With that said, let's get on and start with Bhujangasana, and this is the Cobra. Think about the Cobra as you practice. Think about the snake. Now the snake is long and slithers along the ground, so let's think about stretching down through the legs to stretch them away from us to the back of the mat. You can pick the legs up individually and from the hip all the way down to the toes, stretch. And then think from the hips all the way up to the upper body, the shoulders, the neck, the head. A breath in and stretch. So you're really stretching forward on the mat now. And then let's stretch the arms one at a time, reaching them forward. Take the creases out of the back of the neck, have the gaze down at the mat in front of you. And once again, let's pick up the left hand and stretch from the left armpit all the way to the left fingertips and lower it back down. And then pick the right arm up and stretch from the right armpit all the way through to the fingertips and then rest them down. Rest the forehead onto the mat. Breathe in and breathe out. Then we'll take a nice breath in through the nostrils and we'll pull those hands back to be shoulder width apart in front of us. So we're actually in the Sphinx pose at the moment. We've got our elbows besides our chest and our two forearms are running on two parallel lines in front of us. Our upper body is raised. Our two legs are glued together to become one. So our heels are touching, our big toes are touching. We've got our teeth unclenched, our shoulders away from our ears. And we're breathing in and out. We can feel the compression of our belly against the mat. You can feel how the belly button pushes into the mat as you breathe in, and then as you breathe out, it really pulls back towards the base of the spine. And this actually assists in shrinking the abdominals. And over time and many moons of practice, you can actually reduce the size of your stomach and the muscles therein. Okay. Let's exhale and gently lower ourselves down, still creating space from our tailbone to the crown of our head as we do so. Bring the point of chin to the mat. You're then going to bring those hands alongside your chest so that your fingertips are aligned just beneath the shoulders, as if you were looking down upon yourself. You would just see those fingertips popping out from the alignment of the shoulders. Let's soften the face, unclench the teeth, have your elbows in nice and close to the sides of your body. It's that case of looking again at the alignment of the shoulders, elbows and wrists, and that they are aligned on two parallel lines. Let's take a breath in. Let's push some weight into the hands as we raise the chest and the shoulders, but we go to a point where we could quite comfortably take those hands away. Let's place them back now to take some of the weight of the body. We want to have our hands, the fingers nicely spread as well, because then that increases the foundation of our weight disbursement. Elbows in close to the body still. Nice deep breath in. Let's begin to straighten those arms, and not judging yourself at which point you get to. You might be down here and saying at this point and think this is enough for me. Just take a couple of rounds of breath there. Exit, and then move into it again. And the more you practice, the more your flexibility will progress. If you can get to the point where you're arms are straight, then allow those inner creases of the elbows to face forward, to point forward. Draw up through to the crown of your head. Get your shoulders away from your ears. Every time you breathe out, pull the belly button towards the base of the spine. Bhujangasana, the Cobra. And then to an exhalation, as you bend the elbows, continue reaching forward so you are elevating from your tailbone to the crown of your head. And then you can cross the hands and rest the cheek. Take a breath in and out. And now let's look at Salabhasana, the Locust. Again, we're in our prone position, laying on our fronts. Let's have our point of chin just resting on the hands for now, as we take a breath in and raise the right leg. You want to have both hips still connected with the mat, so your hip bones at the front here, they're both connected. Avoid having that right one raise off the floor just because the leg has raised. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, think of stretching from the right hip all the way down to the right toes, lowering the foot. So now those right toes will feel that they've just passed further than the left. And then we'll breathe in and we'll raise the left leg, keeping both hips connected with the mat. Stretch and extend through that left leg from the hip all the way down to the toes, and then lower. Let's release the hands now and bring them alongside the body, keeping the point of chin touching on the mat. You're going to breathe in and raise both feet away from the mat. Get the shins coming off of the mat. Maybe you can peel the thighs away from the mat a little, and then lower. Let's breathe in and raise the shoulders and chest away from the mat. Can we release the hands away from the mat? The palms of the hands facing the ceiling. Be aware if you've tensed up in your upper body and your shoulders are hitting you in the back of the neck. Stretch down into the fingertips. Get those shoulders away from the ears. Take the creases out the back of the neck. Have your view at the mat just in front of you. And then when you exhale, lower down. Now we'll put both those parts together, the legs and the arms. We're going to raise them in synchronicity. So a breath in, and let's lift. Feet up, hands up, head and chest up. Take the creases out the back of the neck. Have the head and neck as a nice natural extension of the spine. See if you can lift those thighs a little higher. Breathe. And then gently release down. Just turn the head and rest on the cheek and take a breath in and out. And then we'll breathe in and bring ourselves more upright with the upper body. We're going to bring our right forearm to rest in front of us. So we've got our right elbow in line with our right shoulder and our left hand reaching the mat. We're commencing forward to practice in Dhanurasana, which is the bow posture, the lead up to Backbend. So let's breathe in, and when we exhale, bend our left knee, bringing our left heel down towards the buttocks if we can. We're then going to release that left arm, swim it round 180 degrees to catch the left foot. So you've got same hand catching the same foot. We're working on the left side at the moment. Ensure that both your hips are still connected with the mat, so you've got a nice central alignment taking place through the trunk of the body. Unclench your teeth. Breathe in and see if you can draw that knee and thigh away from the mat. Staying soft in the face, avoid pulling too much tension into any part of the body, and then you can gently lower down. Release that foot. Let's swap over. So get your left elbow in line with your left shoulder, with the elbow connecting with the mat. The left forearm centered on the mat in front of you. And then when you next exhale, bend the right knee. You're going to release that right hand, stretch it forward in front of you, then swim it round 180 degrees to catch the right ankle or the front of the right foot, however you feel most comfortable. And you can even use a belt or strap here. If you cannot reach your foot or ankle, then swing a belt around that area and grasp onto the belt, and then see if you can draw that knee and thigh away from the floor, taking the creases out of the back of the neck once again, so your view is just in the mat in front of you. And then exhale, release. Okay? You might want to just cross the hands, rest the cheek for a moment, take a breath in and out. We're preparing ourselves to do full Dhanurasana now, upward bow posture. If you don't feel like you're ready for the position yet, then just go back and re-practice each individual side. If you want to go for the full position, let's get our point of chin on the floor. You're going to take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to bend both knees. Now, to begin with, you can have space between your knees. They can be quite wide. In the fullness of the position, you will look to draw the knees together. But in the early stages, a gap between the knees is quite normal. So let's take a nice breath in. Let's just lift our upper chest away from the mat. Let's link our hands with the front of our feet. Relax in the face, the neck, the throat. Breathe in and rise up, pulling those thighs away from the mat. Kick back with the feet. It's almost like you're kicking the feet away from the hands. But that helps you increase your lift. Breathe in and out. And then to an exhalation, gently lower those thighs. Bring the feet to the ground. Bring your hands together and rest your cheek. And breathe in and out. Becoming aware of the compression of the front of the chest with the mat. So take your mind into your upper back, your back rib cage, and allow the ribs to open up and outward to continually allow great space for the lungs to inflate. Now let's go for that once more. Dhanurasana. Upward bow position. Let's bend both the knees. Let's draw up through the trunk of the body, thinking of creating space from your tailbone, the base of your spine here, the coccygeal region, all the way up to the crown of the head. So every time you breathe in, you feel this sense of stretch taking place. You're going to connect with the fronts of the feet. Unclench the teeth, breathe in and lift up. And then when you next exhale, gently lower down with control. Avoid that feeling of just wanting to let go too fast. You want to control, move slowly. Then let's bring our hands beside our chest, take a nice deep breath in and come up onto all fours. We can separate the knees wider than hip width, the big toes are touching. As you exhale, bring your buttocks down to rest on the heels of your feet and really stretch the trunk of the body and lower it between the legs. Bring the forehead to rest on the mat and have a couple of rounds of breath here. And then pulling the tummy in to support the spine, let's walk the hands in, bringing ourselves to a nice upright kneeling position, and then we'll lift the buttocks, turn the feet to the side and extend the feet away to have bent knees. We're going to once again roll ourselves down, lowering and connecting the spinal cord with the mat. So tilt the pelvis, take the chin to the chest, walk the hands down the legs. Keep tilting the pelvis so that the lumbar dorsal part of the spine makes a nice connection. And then once the back has this full connection with the mat, let's just bring those feet to be hip width apart, draw the heels of the feet closer towards the buttocks and become aware of the alignment of your feet, knees and hips. Again, it's almost like you have two parallel train tracks running alongside each other, and you have this full-on alignment that your feet, knees and hips are set along those parallel lines. Now think about the feet especially, because it might be that over time you've grown to have a position of the feet that could be seen as being 10 to 2 or ballerina style with them turned out. So you want to feel that those outer edge of your feet are on a straight line, and it may be that the heels of the feet just need turning out slightly. Allow your arms to rest alongside your body and bring the palms of the hands into the mat. We're going to take ourselves up into the half bridge posture. Let's breathe in, and as you breathe out, tilt the pelvis, peel the tailbone off of the floor, then lift the buttocks and start drawing the rest of the spine away from the mat. You're drawing your chest towards your chin. Your teeth are unclenched. Your breath flowing. Couple of rounds of breath here, ensuring as well that your knees have not buckled in towards each other or splayed out past hip width. You still retain the alignment of hips, knees and feet on those two parallel lines. And then gently, slowly, keeping the pelvis tilted so that you may connect the bones of your spine all the way down to the base, and then you have that reconnection. Can we see now if we can bring those heels closer in towards our buttocks to actually be able to connect our hands around the ankles? A nice deep breath in. Let's peel the buttocks away, draw the chest towards the chin. Lift up, rise up,
through the pelvis, the navel reaching up towards the ceiling. Keep those knees in alignment with each other. They are not dropping inwards. They are not splaying out. And then gently tilt the pelvis as the trunk of the body lowers, as the 33 bones of the spinal cord connect with the mat. Gently just walk those heels away from the buttocks to a position that feels nicely aligned for you. Your hands are still resting into the mat. And then once again we're going to do that same motion of earlier of rocking ourselves into an upward position. So what we'll do is we'll breathe in, draw the knees in towards the chest, clasping underneath our hamstrings, use the toes and the weight of the head to pull us forward and up. And then we'll sit our buttocks back and we'll extend the feet forwards. Place the hands beside you, beside the hips, into preliminary Dhanurasana. And then take those knees to bend, get your hips, get your feet hip width apart. So once again you're seeing these two parallel lines, and the hip, the knee, the ankle, the foot, especially the outer edge of the foot, you might just be able to turn that heel out. And you're going to take a breath in. Now you can have your hands a little bit further back from the hips now, because we're going to take ourselves up into bridge posture variation. This is the easier level. We're going to work towards the next level up as well, but it's entirely up to you in your practice as to which part you're at today. So let's just bring those hands back. We still have those parallel lines occurring behind us. So our shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers, they're running along the parallel line of the leg. Nice deep inhalation. You're going to lift your buttocks and drop your head and neck back. Trying to get the tummy and the thighs like a table. And then to an exhalation, you'll bring yourself back down. Take a breath in and out. We're going to do that once more. Nice deep inhalation. Take the weight of your buttocks and your pelvis forward and up. Take the weight of your head back. Unclench your teeth. Breathe. And then gently, with control, bring yourself back down. So now we're going to go into the full bridge posture, in a couple of stages to that as well. Every position in yoga has variations, it has levels, it has stages, so that you can work with comfort at all times. So if you think that that part of the back bend is your level today, then great, re-practice that. If you wish to go further, we're going to breathe in, lift our buttocks, take them towards the heels of our feet a little. We're going to lower the spine to connect with the mat once more. So let's get our feet firmly planted. We're going to take a nice deep inhalation, raise our hands up and over and bend the elbows and bring the hands to rest either side of our shoulders with our fingers pointing down towards our toes. Bring your toes and your feet into a position that feels nicely aligned for you. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to have a lightness about your body and an upward lift as you roll yourself onto the crown of your head. Take the weight and disperse it equally into your feet, your hands and your head. Now if this is enough for you here, then get used to this position, and when you roll out of it, roll onto the back of your head and bring yourself down. And then you could have a little bit of a hug, and then you could practice it again. So you place your feet, positioning them comfortably aligned for you. Breathe in, take your hands up and over your head. Bring those hands to rest outside of the alignment of the ears. So possibly your left and right hands are in line with the ears, but shoulder width apart. Take your time, adjust and adapt. Find your foundation. Breathe in with a sense of lightness of being. Lift yourself onto the crown of your head. Now the next part to move on to is taking a nice deep breath in and lifting further upward. Taking the weight equally into your feet and your hands. Unclench your teeth and breathe. And to come out of the posture with control, you will lower yourself onto the crown of your head, roll onto the back of your head, bring your spine down, and then a breath in, bring the knees in towards you, clasp around the shins and give yourself a hug. And then we'll roll ourselves into an upright seated position, take our buttocks away from us, stretch and extend our legs forward, and let's do the counter stretch to the back bend. So we'll link our thumbs, raise our hands up, breathe in, lift up, and then hinge over at the hips, stretch and extend through the spine. The aim is for the hands to reach the toes, so draw the toes back towards the chest. And if you can't reach your toes, then you rest your hands on your shins, on your thighs. Avoid putting any pressure on the knees, so on the thighs, on the shins, at the ankles. Unclench the teeth, soften the skin on the face, breathe. And then gently walk those hands back in towards the body, pulling the tummy in to support your spine. And then bring yourself round into a cross-legged position or a kneeling position. Use a cushion or a blanket to place under your sit bones to help reach the trunk of the body upwards. Without collapsing in the torso, you want to surrender into a position of comfort, but stay elevated. Close your eyes, tune in, and become aware of how you feel internally and externally. You have given great strength to your spinal cord within this practice. You have given great massage to your kidneys, and they will now be making their detoxification. They will be enriched with rich oxygenated blood, as will the spinal cord. Be aware of how a sense of cleanliness is now dispersing around your body. An air of spaciousness too. Peel your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Separate your teeth slightly. And when you breathe out, surrender. Release and let go of any thought processes you no longer require. clear the mind, tune into your flow of breath, and become aware of a sense of peace of mind. And then open your eyes, bring your hands to your heart to give yourself thanks for your practice today, an invigorating and cleansing practice. And whatever time of day you have exercised and done this yoga, enjoy whatever is left of the day, safe in the knowledge that yoga is good for you.